Schools are designed to teach many things, but the mechanics of money, how it is earned, protected, and grown, remain a mechanical void in the standard curriculum. Without formal instruction, children instinctively adopt the financial culture of their home. In most households, this defaults to a pattern of silence, where money is treated as an anxious, private matter that is never openly analyzed. This silence is often reinforced by the language of scarcity. When a parent reflexively says, "We can't afford that," they define money as a wall, a fixed boundary dictating what the child can and cannot do. Without an intentional change in how money is discussed, this mindset becomes the child's primary inheritance. They learn to view financial limits as unchangeable facts of life, rather than variables to control. To change this, the first tier of mastery requires redefining what a dollar actually is. It is a tool, a vote for freedom, and a way to secure options. You can demonstrate this on a Saturday at an amusement park. Hand an 8-year-old $2 and give them 2 mutually exclusive choices, 1 extra ride or 1 frozen lemonade. Selecting one immediately removes the other. This exercise forces the child to stop and weigh the value of their options. Spending is no longer an impulsive reaction to a shiny object. It becomes a deliberate trade-off. This logic introduces the concept of opportunity cost. By seeing a single bill as 2 diverging paths, the child begins to evaluate purchases based on what they are giving up, shifting their role from a passive consumer to an active decision-maker. Moving to the second tier means taking these abstract choices and applying them to the actual mechanics of running a household. Consider a Tuesday night dinner. Instead of ordering delivery, you sit with your 10-year-old and tally the cost of raw ingredients for homemade pizza. When you compare the $12 surplus to the cost of a restaurant order, the math becomes real. You can make this transparency a household standard by pinning the monthly grocery receipt to the refrigerator. This allows the child to see exactly how and where the family's resources are being allocated. When the numbers are visible, the family dynamic changes. Children often begin to hunt for cheaper alternatives or identify wasted resources because they understand that every dollar saved increases the household's options. Bringing financial data into the open removes the anxiety of the unknown. The budget becomes a shared map that the entire family uses to navigate toward their goals. A $12 surplus from a meal or a $20 birthday check provides a small win, but true growth happens when these windfalls are channeled into repeatable habits. This is where the 10% rule applies. Before the child looks at a toy catalog, you help them split any incoming cash. 10% goes into a high-yield account for future opportunities, while the rest is theirs to use. Over time, this split becomes an automatic reflex. This chart visualizes how capital produces dividends, like planting a bean seed. While the account sits idle, money generates more money, duplicating and stacking. Over the years, compound interest accelerates. What began as a small habit develops into a sharp, upward trajectory of growth. The third and final tier is the transition from labor to leverage. We can see this in the simple context of a driveway car wash business. If a child spends 2 hours washing a car for $20, they are trading their finite time for a fixed amount. They are limited by the number of hours they can physically work. To build a system, they pay a cousin to help. As this network grows, income detaches from personal time. Deploying capital to buy a detailing vacuum increases the revenue of every job without extra labor. This multiplier effect uses assets to grow the system. Wealthy individuals focus on these 2 upper levels, building scalable systems and deploying capital, rather than trying to maximize their hourly wage. Financial independence occurs when your income is generated by systems and assets that operate 24/7, detaching your livelihood from the clock. When a child masters these 3 tiers, they see the world differently. Where others see an empty storefront, they see a potential marketplace. Driving past a vacant building becomes an exercise in brainstorming business ideas. They analyze the needs of the neighborhood and imagine how that space could solve a specific problem. They learn that the market rewards service. By solving larger, more complex problems for others, they naturally invite larger financial rewards. Shifting the focus from what they lack to what they can build replaces the language of scarcity with a mindset of priority and choice. Because these lessons aren't part of the traditional school day, the responsibility of teaching them rests with you. You don't need a formal classroom to deliver this syllabus. You thread it into dinner conversations, chore negotiations, and family errands, treating money as a normal and transparent part of life. These consistent, everyday conversations build over time. They provide the internal logic a child needs to navigate complex financial decisions with confidence long after they've left your home.